You're watching One-on-One Sports, hosted by Eric Kendall and Christian Bender, with resident experts Tom Waterman, Greg Brzezowski, and Alex Rosenbaum, Billy O'Riordan, and Josh Norris, Robert Woner, and Michael Heil. Paulo de la Fell and Alex Sharon. Christine Williams and Aaron Moger. Welcome to One-on-One Sports.
Hello and welcome to another One-on-One Sports. I'm Christian Bender.
And I'm Eric Kendall. Even though we are entering the final stretch of our season, we won't fade under pressure. Here are your starting five.
The 75th Masters has come and gone this past weekend, and the green jacket was draped over the shoulders of South African Charles Schwartzel. Schwartzel finished off his final round with 4 straight birdies to win in come-from-behind fashion. Eric, what do you make of this weekend's events at Augusta?
Well, you know I love the Masters, and this weekend was maybe one of the best I can remember in recent memory, with all of these guys at 10 under on the back nine, including Tiger Woods. When he's in the mix, it's anyone's game. But give it to Charles Schwartzel. I mean, all these big names up there when you talk about Adam Scott, who's won the Players, Tiger's over there, and Angel Cabrera, who's won 2 majors. They're all in the mix. And a guy you've never heard of, his name's Schwartzel.
Yeah, I didn't know who that was. I mean, I'll be honest, but I will admit that I was wrong in saying that there was no shot for Tiger because he really did come out of nowhere in this one, and good for him. You know, it's good for golf to have Tiger back in it. Now everybody's saying, "Oh, Tiger's on the rise again." I'm not ready to say that, but he certainly looked good at the Masters.
Well, he definitely didn't lose it. I mean, 5 under in the front nine. It was Schwartzel's. He won it. With many of college basketball's elite players beginning to state their intentions to either enter the 2011 NBA draft or stay in school, Christian, which one of these prospects do you see prospering on the next level?
Well, if Derek Williams declares, and I think that he will,
his stock will never be higher.
The crop of talent this year in college basketball is just not that good overall. You know, Kyrie Irving is probably going to be the #1 overall draft pick because and he only played 6 games or whatever it was during the regular season. Now, Derek Williams,
it was more than 6. Well,
during the regular season.
Okay.
But Derek Williams, 6'8", huge guy that can shoot threes like nobody's business. He shot like 60%.
He's not a shooter from 3.
He shot 60% in the tournament.
In that one game?
In the tournament.
Oh, he shot 60% from the floor?
From 3 in the tournament.
Okay, well, that may be, but he is not a 60% three-point shooter. You can't make the case for that. A guy that I like who may or may not be coming out is Harrison Barnes. Although he's not the freak athlete you usually see going like #1 or #2, he has the work ethic and the skill level, I think, to be a big-time pro on the next level, and he will make himself one of the top players in the league.
If he goes out. The NC State men's basketball team wasted no time in hiring Mark Gottfried as its next head coach. Eric, is this really the best they could do?
Who is this guy?
I don't even know.
Are we North Carolina State? Okay, they have a national championship, a little bit of excitement in the program, but they are not to the level of their blue blood neighbors. And they won't be, especially with a guy like Mark Gottfried. They need a game changer, like a ground-shaking hire.
It's too bad that Shaka Smart stayed on at VCU because I think that he'd be a perfect fit at NC State. Now, but Mark Gottfried,
about a lot of places.
Yeah, but Mark Gottfried, I mean, is this the best they could do? I think that there wasn't a really good crop of coaches out there.
The sad thing is, it is the best they can do.
That's what I'm saying.
NC State is not at the level of the teams around them, although their fans would like them to be.
Yeah,
they're just not.
They haven't had a coach like Jimmy Valvano since Jimmy Valvano.
You know, a guy who they've talked about, Rick Barnes, coming back to North Carolina.
Could be.
Texas coach. Miami Heat forward LeBron James recently decided to purchase a sharing interest of Liverpool Football Club, a soccer club over the pond in England. Christian, you may know about this. about this club over there.
Yep.
But what do you make of LeBron throwing his hat in the ring for the World's game?
You know, good for him. All right. Honestly, it doesn't really matter one way or the other. You know, of course, the world knows who LeBron James is, and now he's got his name on a soccer team over in Europe. I liken it to Jay-Z owning part of the Nets. Like it's not really that big of a deal. It's just like, hey, look who owns a part of Liverpool, and he owns a 10% of Liverpool.
It's not big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal in the sporting landscape. It's not.
No, he's not going to make like personnel moves or anything like that.
No, of course not. It's not like he's moving in the front office. He's trying to win an NBA championship, but it's a good business move. I mean, you're talking about professional athletes who only have 15, 20 years in basketball to make their money.
Yeah, he's got something to do.
This is a business move. He owns a share of a very successful soccer club. Good move, LeBron.
Mm-hmm. Dallas Cowboys backup tight end Martellus Bennett recently stated that Jon Kitna should have the opportunity to compete for the starting quarterback job with Tony Romo. Eric, do you believe a player should ever lose his job due to injury?
Yes, I do. It's the nature of the sport. Of course you lose your job to injury. That's what it's like in the NFL. Talk about, I mean, the quarterback position, of course, that gets a lot of press and say Tony Romo shouldn't get it. But think of how many positions out there you do lose your job to injury. That lets another guy step in, maybe a younger guy. I know Jon Kitna's not.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Jon Kitna is not like a guy that can step in and lead that team for years. He's old. He's over the hill. Now, they put up almost identical numbers last season, but Jon Kitna took 4 more games for him to get that number than Tony Romo. So, you know, if you look at the two, they might as well have an open competition.
Well, this isn't a question about which one's better. Of course, Romo over his career has looked better.
No
Kitna's not bad. But don't you think there should be, every camp starts
off
saying, hey, it's up for grabs.
I mean, Tony Romo hasn't proven that he can win anything. Neither has Jon Kitna, so you're not losing anything.
I agree. Open it up. See who takes it.
Why not? Time for us to take our first time out, but when we return, I will be joined by our resident NFL experts to answer the question that's on everybody's mind. Who will be on the cover of the next Madden game? Stay tuned.